Look at the results. So let's talk a little bit about equipment and again, the flexibility that we try to work into every program so that you don't have to have an entire gym full of balls in order to do the program.
Well, no.
They've been here all dirty.
He's the guy, by the way, who wanted to call it chest, back, and balls. But yeah, right, we've got stability balls, which, you know, Kathy Smith introduced a long time ago, right? So a lot of folks here who are coaches and Beachbody devotees, so they have them, but we, you know, we add that dimension to it. And you need that. You need that instability. You know, if you're sitting there and you're doing a push-up on a ball, there's so much more going on, and there's so much more change. It comes so much more rapidly as a result of adding that component. Same thing with the medicine balls. We have weighted bars, and we've added the foam roller, you know, for that deep tissue myofascial release, you know, in between. It's just an amazing, incredible tool to really help, you know, you can go to a masseuse and maybe they'll work on the right part, or they won't, but they won't give you enough pressure, or maybe they'll, you know, you're spending $200 for this thing where you might get what you want. But, you know, the great thing about the foam roller is that you get to work on this very specific spot that needs it for as long as it needs it. And when you do that, you know, you're avoiding injuries and your performance level goes through the roof. And you're just able to keep bringing it, right, 5 days a week. It's really hard.
So we'll post all the stuff. If you wanted the full component, you want to make a commitment to P90X2, we'll post everything that you'll need. It'll obviously be available when the whole program is available, and we'll get to that later. But there's also an option with every move, like we always do, that if you're doing it with bands, if you don't have the pull-up bar, if you don't have all the balls with you, if you're traveling, whatever, you can still do the program, right?
Absolutely. You know, if you look at a lot of the folks that were maybe not perfect candidates for P90X, who managed to do it anyway, they were able to succeed because of the modification of variations. And so typically you would see the extreme, you'd see the modified, and something in between. What we thought we would do this time is kind of take it to the next level. And we have one, you know, of course, there'll be me in the front, there'll be 3 in the back. And we've got the extreme version. We got somebody, you know, maybe not going quite as intense, but then we have somebody who's modifying a lot and also showing people that if you're traveling and all you have is enough room in your suitcase with some bands, you can still do P90X2. I don't care where you are on this planet, you can still do it no matter what, because there's going to be a version for you to see right there on the screen.
So let's say we get a little look. So we're going to run through a little peek at the programs, and yeah, it's okay if you just keep videotaping. I'm fine with that.
Oh.
And Tony, why don't you just
look at YouTube in 25 minutes?
You can probably streaming this right now on YouTube. Flashing through DVDs in China as we speak. No, honestly, John is so uptight about this. He's like, we're going to have armed guards, and when these masters are pressed, the armed guards are going to be trained, shoot to kill. We're protecting our flanks on this one. Okay, so you tell us what we're looking at a little bit. You don't have to go into too much detail. I hope I didn't. No, I had. This is the clicker. Okay, here we go. X2, cool.
So as you can see here, you know, this is we had core synergistics in P90X. This is X2 core. So you can just tell by some of these movements, right? You're doing some pretty fun stuff. You're adding plyometrics with core movements. You know, and of course you've got modifications. It's just sort of the next level of core synergistics.
Yeah, and a lot of the program is really, as you'll see, functional. Now here, this one is going to kill people, plyo side.
Yeah, plyo side. I got the red shoes on for this one, baby, you know, so poor Tracy and Mark, you know, I don't think they've been the same since. But the idea here is, you know, the great thing about this one is you're moving more laterally. I know with P90X, it was, you know, more about jumping in one spot, but we're moving side to side more, and we're going for more vertical height too, which is really important when it comes to plyometrics.
Recovery and mobility. There's the foam roller.
Well, here's our foam roller. Right? There's poor Cedric. Oh, he's trying. Cedric, don't cringe so much in that. But right, you can see our modification here. We've devoted an entire DVD to the importance of recovery. And you're allowed, you can see the different versions. That's the death version from Isabel with the spikes in it. Yeah. But it's an amazing, incredible tool.
I love that thing. It's super soft.
And no, it's above and beyond stretching. It really is. Stretching is phenomenal, yoga is phenomenal, but this takes it to the next level.
All right, total body.
Total body is just like it sounds. You know, you're doing one arm bicep curls in Warrior 3. Hello! Right? You're doing pull-ups, your whole body is crunched. You're doing plyometric push-ups on a stability ball, you know, and freaking Jeremy Yost beat me there. That was a little for my ego. But, you know, what's fun about that is, how about that one? So, you know, again, the reason why it's 5 days a week is because almost, I'd say 95% of the exercises, everything's involved. It's not just chest or just shoulders, just arms.
Yeah, and that actually is what makes it more athletic, because when you're out there, you're not moving one body part when you're doing some move on the field. You've got to be able to react. You've got to be able to move sideways. You want to be able to recruit the right big movers with your stabilizers in order to perform.
You want to build that foundation. You want to build that strength. While in the process, you're also building speed and agility and power, and also, you know, with all that lateral and vertical movement, you're tapping into parts of your legs and your butt that we haven't seen.
Now, how can you improve on that?
Well, you know, there's my precisions with an added reach. If you were my workout the other day, you saw that. You know, I mixed a combination of some things that folks have seen in Yoga Belly 7 for P90X, and we've added a lot of stuff. We're up, like with Mason Twist, for example, we're up a lot, up on our butt, because you're forced to use your core that way. So it's a brand new mix. It's a brand new Evercore X2, and it'll be just as brutal as the first one.
Now, you talk about core, balance, and power. X2 is coming up. X2 Yoga.
You said your friend Crane there. What I did we had a lot of conversations about this, but when it came to the P90X2 Yoga, we wanted to get back to basics a little bit. We wanted just a constant flow. You know what I mean? So we took out some of the standing balance moves. We got busy right away. You know, the warm-up was a little bit shorter, and we wanted to condense the very best of the best of the moves that I think are most effective in yoga in the course of about an hour and 5 minutes.
So last time it was done in sort of 2 halves. You had the whole vinyasa phase in the first 45 minutes. And then we were standing on our heads and our fingers were up our noses.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's crazy. Last night, I was walking through the hallway. I had my own workout, and yesterday was yoga day for me. I'm doing yoga in, you know, Crown Room 3, and all of a sudden 35 people showed up. So, you know.
All right, now we're talking balance and power, which is your core routine. That is my favorite move in this whole thing.
That move is crazy. Well, you know, balance and power is exactly what it is. You know, you're adding balance components with strength components at the same time. Usually you'll see them separately.
Nice. Outrageous.
Outrageous. Yeah, that doesn't require anything whatsoever. So, you know, it doesn't look like much. For example, that one where you're on your forearms, but oh my God, you get to your 10th one. And oddly enough, the beautiful thing is you can feel your core working without having to get on your back and work your core specifically, right? So as a result of that, a lot of those moves you just saw, your quads are engaged, your glutes are engaged, your pelvis is tilted, your core is firing without having to actually do crunches, which are important as well. We see those in athletics. But, you know, we're just trying to help people become more athletic, become stronger, and in the process, become gorgeous as well.
Well, my experience personally with this versus other kind of ab moves, this one, I have a tendency to get really tight in my lower back, right? So these kind of moves, a lot of plank moves, man, just fixes my lower back pain. Like, it's just fixed.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. And all this extra core work, anybody who, you know, if you sit a lot, you work a lot, the lower back tightens up. And I think you're going to feel some relief by strengthening it this way versus just doing it.
Well, you know, it's amazing how much we've learned in 7 years when it comes to just doing a standard push-up. You know, like today, like the other day when we were in my workout, you know, you never heard me cue things like flex your quads, drive the backs of your knees toward the ceiling, and turn your heels back, and tilt your pelvis towards your elbows. You know, I mean, we cued it as best we could based on what we knew at that time, but we've learned so much in the interim that, you know, when you see folks now do, in P90X2, you see them do a push-up, they're like this steel rod from head to heels, you know, and that's the idea. And it requires, you know, some new philosophy to be able to do that. And when you do, like yourself, you prevent that injury. Because so many people have that lower back slack when they're doing their push-ups because they're focused just too much on numbers. Now we're focusing more on form. And when you do that first, your numbers will go up. You'll also not get hurt, and you're engaging everything.
No, I saw that. Everybody was so strong in the room, I actually ran across everybody. Chest, back, and ball ends.
Yeah, we had chest, back, and balls for the one-on-ones, but we thought for the masses we should probably do that. So it's called balance now. Yeah, there are levers, there's push-ups on your fingertips, there's lower ball push-ups, you know, and trust me, when I first started doing that in particular, it took me like 8 or 9 times to get 2 or 3 reps. And that really pissed me off.
That's what's cool. That's what, you know, you get P90X2, people go, oh boy, you know, $120 or whatever, and they get for a set of DVDs. This isn't a thing that it's like one and done. You're going to do this for years. And kind of like all the programs, you go back to them. Even still with Power 90, you go back to it, you're lifting a different weight, you get a whole, just a completely different experience out of it. This is so rich. This is 2 years of richness that people are going to experience as they do this over and again, back and forth with P90X, P90X2, working Insanity, working Turbo Fire, working Asylum. It's like, you got the coolest gym on the planet right now.
If you look at our winners last night, the vast majority were combo. You know, you would see the combination of different programs that they would use. And that's the beautiful thing. You can customize your own workout routines. You know, we are learning, everybody here in this room and people outside of this room who are P90X and Beachbody customers are much more sophisticated than they were back in the old days. Back in the old days, it was either do nothing because it was too intimidating, or go to the gym and just do the same old thing and stop working. And now, because of this incredible library that we have, all of us are just learning more. Everybody's becoming their own trainer because as a result of this huge library.
It's cool. All right, shoulders and arms.
Well, you know, shoulders are the link to everything up the body, right? So it's really important. We got some, kind of wacko here. So of course, as you can see, we can't get away from these crazy balls, you know, because there's so much fun stuff. We got 2-direction shoulder flies, and the thing is, we're doing a form of rehab and also strength. We're shaping the muscle, we're building the muscle, we're also rehabbing the muscle all at the same time. Because quite often, you know, our egos get in the way, and we care too much about, you know, building the size and the shape, and we ignore the fact that the shoulders are very vulnerable, I think, for a lot of folks. So we've added some components to make sure that the shoulder joint, the rotator cuff, is strong and stable too.
Dig it. And of course, base and back, which was also part of the one-on-one development series, right?
Yeah. You know, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought it'd be a really cool idea to add plyo and pull-ups all in one workout. So have fun with that one. Honestly, you know, we'll talk about the cardio issue earlier, you know, but that's a perfect example of a non-cardio exercise sequence.
We'll go there. Let's talk about it. You're going to get this.